Good day, grade 12s. Today we're going to look at the third section of the cash flow statement, namely the cash effects of financing activities. So we've had the two previous ones, which have been the cash effects of investing and of operations. And today we are going to look at the cash effects of financing activities. So obviously financing has to do with money, so let's jump in and let's have a look at what we're going to do. This financing section has three items which we need to include in it. And the first one is the proceeds from shares issued. So what does proceeds mean? Proceeds simply means the money I get and for, in this case, selling shares. Second item that we are going to put into this section is the buying back of shares, and here I want you to remember that it is at total value. If we go back to the earlier stages of this module, you will remember that shares are bought back at average price or at above average price. And so here we are going to have average plus above average price, which will give me my total value of the buying back of shares. And then the third item we are going to have is when we have taken out a loan, obviously money would flow out, or if we repay a loan, because remember, loans have to be repaid. So if we are paying back a loan, then we will also record this in the financing section of the cash flow statement. So let's look at the proceeds of shares issued. So we need to go into our balance sheet. There we have our balance sheet. And we need to look at our ordinary share capital. So let's do that. Here I'm in the balance sheet and I have shareholders' equity. Remember, we have the current year first and we have the previous year second. Just a little reminder there. Some of you might have forgotten that. And if I have a look, at the beginning of the year, my ordinary share capital was 300,000. But now at the end of the year, it's 350,000 Rand. So there has been a difference of 50,000 Rand. So my shares have increased. So when comparing the ordinary share capital in the previous slide, there's a difference of 50,000 Rand from 20.1 to 20.2. And as I have just said to you, there is 50,000 Rand difference. And so we have sold shares. And remember, if we sell shares, money's flowing in. So there would be an inflow of money. So let's have a look. How are we going to record this in our cash flow statement? We have a heading, Cash Effects of Financing Activities, and we are going to write in here, Proceeds from Shares Issued. Again, please use the correct terminology. We use the word proceeds, and the amount was 50,000 Rand. So that's the start of this third section of financing activities. Next, we are going to look at when shares are bought back. As I said a little earlier, you will remember that when we buy back shares, we have average price plus above average price, which will give me the total amount paid for shares. And it is this total amount paid for shares that we are going to take to our note, Cash Effects of Financing Activities. So let's just go over that again. So it is the total amount for the buyback of shares that will be shown in the financing section of the cash flow statement. So when shares are bought back, the amount paid for the shares is an outflow of money. And so do I have to say it? The amount will be shown in brackets. Let's have a look and see what we have done here. And so we have our proceeds from the issue of shares, which we dealt with just now. And now in yellow, you will see that shares were bought back at 10 Rand per share and we paid 5,000 Rand. How can I say we paid 5,000 Rand? Because it is in brackets. Now, just a little curveball question which they may ask you is, how many shares did you buy? How are you going to work that out? We're simply going to take 5,000 Rand, which we paid, and each share was 10 Rand. So if you divide 10 Rand into 5,000 Rand, you will know that we bought 500 shares back from a shareholder who either was deceased or who wanted to get rid of his shares. Now we're going to look at the third item that goes into the section. And again, I'm in my balance sheet, looking at long-term liabilities. And of course, long-term liabilities could also be called non-current liabilities. And so please be familiar with both forms of terminology. Here we have a loan from dorKk, and at the beginning of the year, it was 200,000. At the end of the year, it is 250,000 Rand. Obviously, if I subtract the 200,000 from the 250,000, there's a difference of 50,000. So can you see that my loan has increased during the current year? So if a loan is taken out or increased, there will be an inflow of money. And will the amount be shown in brackets or not? No, there will be no brackets in this particular example. Let's have a look what it looks like in the cash flow statement. The two items in white we've dealt with already, and so we go back to the yellow information. And so the long-term loan was increased. By how much? 50,000 Rand. No brackets? Why? If we take out a loan, money's flowing into the business. Obviously, if I take you back to that slide, you have to do what nobody's told you to do. Find out that amount. And so in the next slide, I have done that for you. All right, so you can see here that when we sold the shares, 50,000 flowed in. When we took out a loan or increased our existing loan, another 50,000 flowed into the business. However, the shares we bought back was 5,000. So here we have 100,000 which flowed into the business, minus the 5,000 we spent on the buying back of shares. And so my answer is 95,000 Rand and no brackets. Why? More money flowed into the business than flowed out of the business. So let's just look at the scenario now of decreasing our loan. Again, I'm back in the balance sheet and I look at the loan from dorKk and I see that this year the loan is 250,000. Last year it was 320,000. So obviously we have paid back 70,000 Rand. And when a payment is made on a loan, we are paying, therefore there will be an outflow of money, and so the amount will have to be reflected in brackets in the cash flow statement. Let's have a look. Long-term loan, this time it is decreased. By how much? 70,000 Rand. Again, without being told what is that amount, you need to fill it in. And so let's just have a look here, and we can see that 75,000 Rand flowed out of the business, but 50,000 flowed into the business. And so we can quite comfortably say that 75,000 minus 50,000 means there was an outflow of money to the value of 25,000 rand. What conclusion can we draw from this section of the cash flow statement? First of all, there are 3 items that can go into this section of the cash flow statement. They are the proceeds from shares issued, the buying back of shares, and increasing or decreasing a loan. So there are my 3 items which would go into this section of financing. What else can I conclude? I've said it so many times. If money flows into the business, there will be no brackets. If money flows out of the business, there will be brackets. And so I'm sure I've repeated it so often, I'm sure that you have it by now. So, homework. Please learn what is included in the financing section of the cash flow statement. Learn the format and please put them in the correct order. Proceeds of shares, buying back of shares, and finally my loans, whether I'm taking out a loan or paying back a loan. And then, needless to say, please do the required exercises in your textbook. I'll see you next time for the last section of the cash flow statement.